What's up, everybody, and thank you for listening to Mastering the Mindset. My name is Dariusdotch, and I'm an actor, hip-hop artist, and fitness and life coach. And I'm here to personally help you train and improve your mindset so that you can, 1, become the best version of yourself mentally, and 2, gain focus and motivation to be able to take action and achieve the success in life that you want and deserve. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to my channel, and at the end of this episode, if you liked it, please share it with a friend or a loved one or someone who would benefit from hearing this message. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm ready to go on this journey with you, and that journey begins now. Well, look at you. You made it back for another episode. I appreciate that. So the title of this one is pretty straightforward with what I'm going to be talking about today. But before we dive in, let me just say this. Life can be a beautiful thing. We as humans, when things are right, we enjoy life to the fullest, and it's a beautiful thing. And the sun just started coming out, so I'm really starting to see a difference with my energy and how I'm feeling and my mood. And for a lot of people, this is the season where things start to turn around. Life can be amazing, right? And we all know life also can be hard as hell. We've been there, done that. You've been there. You've been through some things in life, some hard things that make you look back and say, damn, I don't know how I made it through that. And what I'm going to talk about today is the fact that the majority of the time, when we go through the bad times, when times get tough, we are the ones that can make it tougher on ourselves. It don't always have to be as tough as we make it. We can get stuck in the past, we can get stuck in the future, and we worry and we give ourselves unnecessary anxiety about what might be coming up next. And all of these things can contribute to life just being that much harder. And life is crazy enough as it is. Things are always changing. Every time you look up, something done happen, some tragedy, some mass shooting, some murder, some accident, some scandal, some crazy new law, somebody dying. There's always something going on. And on top of all that, we still have to think about our own happiness and fulfillment and trying to keep everything together and still have to pay bills, right? So we should be making things easier on ourselves, for ourselves. Don't you think you deserve that? I think you do. So let's dive in. Let's talk about the 3 things that you need to stop doing immediately to be a happier person. So number 1, stop regretting the past. By regretting the past, you're keeping yourself stuck in the past. Way too often, we let the past determine who we become in the future. We let the past have way too much weight on what we do with our lives moving forward. How are we supposed to move forward in the future if we keep bringing our past with us? And we all have regrets, right? Things we did, decisions we made, things we didn't do, opportunities that we missed, mistakes that we made. And yeah, we could look back at the past and say, damn, man, I could have did that way better. I could have did much more. And you've heard me say this before, but in the past, in those moments, you did the best you could at that time with what you had. With the knowledge and the circumstances and who you were in that moment, it was the best you can do with what you had. Hindsight is easy. It's easy to look at something you did 5 years ago and say, yeah, I wish I wouldn't have done that. I wish I would have did things different. Things will be different, right? It's easier to have more knowledge today, right now, 5 years later, and wish you would have did things different. And that's natural because you didn't have the knowledge that you have right now back then. And even if it was a scenario where you knew better in that moment you knew better and you still did it anyway, where you didn't do it and have the opportunity to look back at it like you do right now. You didn't have the opportunity to look back at that mistake you knew you shouldn't have made. Again, this is natural. It happened. It could have happened. It couldn't have happened any differently than it would have because it didn't. Lessons have to be had and we have to improve and get better from it. If it happened, it had to happen that way. So relieve yourself of that. Easier said than done, I know. But we have to understand that dwelling on the past and your mistakes and the things you messed up on or didn't do, it holds you back from moving forward and it takes you out of the present. Excuse me. Wow. And it takes you out of the present moment. And if you're not in the present moment, do you really think you can be doing the best you possibly can? Probably not. Which means that dwelling on the past can hold you back from possibly having a better future. So again, learn from that event. Learn instead of dwelling, instead of regretting. Learn from it. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What were you supposed to bring with you for the rest of your life? What are the things that are supposed to make you wiser? Use those mistakes to improve yourself and your life. So realize what that lesson is that you've been missing. Don't get caught up in wishing things were different. Look at it as if what happened was supposed to. It made you who you are, and it was brought to you because there was a lesson in it. We know we can't change the past, so why get caught up in wishing that we can change it? We can control our response to it. And before I move on to the next point, we have to practice giving ourselves more compassion. Yeah, you messed up. Sometimes we mess up real bad, right? But it happened. Stop beating yourself up over it. You've had time to reflect and feel the pain from it. It was years ago. It's time to move on from it. So give yourself grace. You're human. Mistakes are natural. They're a natural part of life. And really, who are you to never make a mistake? Who are you? Who made you perfect? So that's number one. Stop worrying about the past. The second thing we should stop doing, number two, and I bet you see this one coming, is stop worrying about the future. The future is unknown, and because of our human nature, we naturally don't like the unknown. To our animalistic nature, to our animalistic brains, the future is seen as a danger. It's something that goes all the way back to the times when we were living out in the wilderness and we lived in tribes, right before civilization. The unknown was dangerous, especially out in the wilderness. There could be a dangerous animal or unsafe landscape. If you ventured off too far from your camp, you could get lost and separated from your tribe, right? That means death. You could settle in an unknown land and experience a famine. That means death. The unknown was very dangerous. So your brain wants to solve the unknown. And to do that, your brain, what it does is it tries to project into the future and see all the ways it needs to protect you so you can plan ahead, so you can be prepared for it and take certain actions or lack thereof to stay safe. And that's a lot of energy. Fun fact, your brain is the organ in your body that uses the most energy. It only weighs 2% of your entire body weight, but it uses about 20% of your energy every day. Think about that for a second. And I know you feel this one because all of us at some point have been mentally exhausted. You sit in front of a computer all day, staring at your screen. Your body is barely moving, but by the time you're done, how do you feel? Just drained, tired. Why? Because your brain is working and working and working and working. Another good example, you ever been in a relationship and you and your partner have those big arguments? I'm talking about the ones that last for hours, days. Again, your body ain't using a lot of energy to talk, to argue, but at the end of the day, you better believe you're just as mentally drained. And in theater, it's kind of the same thing. Well, it is the same thing. In rehearsals, after using your brains to be creative and thinking on our feet and diving into the world of the play, the character, doing scene work, using all that focus and energy on something, we need breaks. And the best directors, they know this too. The good directors understand. They can look at the clock and see that, okay, we still got like 45 minutes left of rehearsal. But you know what? We good. It's better for us to just call it a day. And what they understand is that does a lot. That 45 minutes that the actors can be able to turn off their brains, just leave off where we are, can really make a difference in the overall rehearsal experience, which will make the actors that much more energized and have the mental capacity to see it through and in a much more fulfilling way. Again, in most plays, our physical bodies barely move, but it's the brain that's doing all the heavy lifting, which makes us mentally drained, which makes us just tired. And so to worry about the future is a lot of energy you're spending on something when you can be using it to focus on something else. And I've used this stat on here before, but I love bringing it up every time I can. But statistically speaking, psychologists found that out of all the worrying we do, about 85% of it never comes true. Only 15% of the stuff we worry about actually comes true. And check this, of that 15%, 12% of that ain't even as bad as we imagined. So that means that only 3% of what we worry about will actually happen. Think about that. Think about all that energy we waste worrying about things. How many times have you worried yourself sick about something? How many times have you lost sleep or worried for days and days and days about something, and you didn't realize it then, but you were literally wasting your time. We waste our time worrying about things. 85% of it doesn't even come true, and only 3% of it actually happens as bad as we imagine. I like those odds. I don't know about you, but I like those odds. What's up, what's up, what's up? I want to take a quick moment to say thank you so much for listening to this episode, and to also let you know that this podcast is 100% donation driven, which means it's completely funded by you, the listener. So, if you like the content I have to offer, I would love it if you can make a donation and you get to pick the amount. I left links in the description of the video as well as my homepage. You can choose which way benefits you the best to donate. And if you need more options, please feel free to email me at dariusdotch@gmail.com. That's dariusdotch@gmail.com. Again, thank you so much for being here, and let's get back to it. Worrying is literally a waste of energy, a waste of coffee, a waste of time. We worry about the future, and most of the time that thing never comes true. And we all been there. We all been there when we worry about something and we're scared about it. And then when it comes time for us to actually have that moment we're worried about, it don't even happen the way we thought it would. And we say, whew, I'm glad that's over. I worry for nothing. We all been there. It's a waste of energy and time to worry about things that more than likely won't happen. That breeds anxiety. It puts your body through way more than it needs to. So let's stop this. Let's be aware of it when we start to project our thoughts into the future. Like old folks say, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Be more present. Focus on the moments right now. Our brains love to live in the past and in the future. Your brain is all over the place, but where is your body? Right here in this present moment. So focus on bringing yourself back to this moment. When you feel yourself worrying about the future, focus on the here and now. What do you need to do here and now? What are the things that are important? That bill that's coming up in a few months? Okay, what can you do now? Okay, I can focus on how I can find ways to make more money. I can figure out if I need to borrow some money. Okay, I can work on making that bonus at work. I can look up ways to make money online today. That's what I can do today. But worrying about that bill that's due in a few months and only focusing on all the bad things that can happen if you don't pay it, that's not going to make the bill go away. That ain't going to get you any closer to being able to pay it. But this moment right here, right now can. So stop focusing on the future. That's number 2. And number 3, and this is another important one, stop looking for happiness in other people. Stop looking for happiness in other people. Stop putting that burden on other people to make you happy. And not just other people, but things. The things you count on to make you happy. Happiness is a state of mind. Yes, these things and people around you can make you happy, but it's a choice to be happy. You can have all these things and the people around you and choose to be pissed off. We see it all the time. Those people who are always mad about something, they can be on vacation in a beautiful place with the sun shining at the beach and still be pissed off about something. Like, really? You in paradise and you mad? And we all know those people who can just be angry and in a bad mood all the damn time. So happiness is definitely a choice. And your life, whether you think it's good or not, you better believe there's people out there with way worse circumstances than yours, and they still choose happiness. They can be happy with way less than what you have right now. Circumstances can't be the thing you count on to make you happy. Way too often, we say, yeah, when I'm able to get this thing, then I'll be happy. Or I am the way I am. I'm not happy because I'm not where I want to be in my career. Or I'm not happy because I'm not married. Or I'm not happy because my car is a hoopty. Or I'm not happy because I don't have as many followers as I want. We got to stop looking for happiness in other people and things. You have to make the decision to find it yourself, to have that in yourself. If you can't be happy with yourself, if you don't have whatever that thing is inside you to make you happy, then what really can? If somebody can be on vacation and be upset, if a millionaire with everything he ever wanted can be lonely, if you're not happy until you reach whatever milestone you're trying to reach, all these things are outside your own self. And you're the only one who has to live with yourself every day. You're the only one who has to live with yourself every day. That's all you. If you're looking for happiness in other people and in other things, it's going to lead to frustration and disappointment. People ain't perfect. People are going to mess up. People are people. They're going to let you down at some point, maybe even often. Don't let your happiness be left up to chance. Don't let your happiness be left up to chance, because that's really what we do when we don't take it upon ourselves to make us happy. That's your job. Prioritize it. So those are the 3 things. 1, stop worrying about the past. 2, stop worrying about the future. And 3, stop trying to find happiness in other people. Now, the sun is coming out. The season is changing. It's the end of March. Spring is coming. So let's make sure we enjoy this beautiful time of the year to the fullest and be happy. So that's what I got for you today. If you like this episode, please share it with somebody that can benefit from this, somebody who is a friend or a family member, somebody who has goals and is trying to improve their lives. So thank you again, and let's get it in.